Yes. All right. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Mary Brown, and I'm the SEO director at SelectQuote. Now, I do realize we are coming to the end of like a 2-ish hour event here. So, shout out to everyone who's been here since the beginning. Really appreciate it. And what you're going to get in this 10-minute condensed version of my talk is I'll really be focusing on why adding re-rank scoring to your embedding research is a semantic gap analysis upgrade. And then also on screen here are bullet points of the takeaways from the full 30-minute talk, but we'll come back to those. First, let me quickly tell you about me, because unless you work with me, you don't know who I am, which is kind of by design. I'm an introvert. But I do have extensive experience in marketing and communications, with the last 10 to 12 years specifically focused on SEO. And with AI search, I have just been digging into understanding the who, what, where, when, and why of it all. One reason is because the bulk of my SEO experience has been in regulated industries like healthcare, fintech, and insurance. And I want to know, what is the impact of all this? Not just for the companies providing solutions, but for the people who are looking for answers. And that brings us to today's topic, right? Why semantic gap analysis and SEOs belong in business conversations about customers. So, why are we talking about semantics? Well, for the average person, it's easy to assume that large language models understand the world we do, the way we do. But the way humans make connections and derive meaning doesn't equal the way AI reasons, which, very simplistically stated, is through vector embeddings and semantic analysis. As SEOs, we've always kind of danced around this concept thanks to working with Google and its algorithms. But it's really in our faces now. But it does mean we're in a unique position to bring forward more strategic insights, and not just for content strategy, but around customer intelligence. Now, when I'm speaking about customer intelligence, I'm really talking about all the different ways that marketers can collect information to improve customer acquisition, outreach, retention, experience, all that. And as SEOs, we have generally slotted into this by utilizing customer personas to generate content strategy. But it's gotten more complicated, right? We have an AI sandwich happening here. I don't know how tasty it is yet, TBD. Because AI is involved in so many multiple steps of the customer journeys, and frankly, just in our lives. And AI is involved in customer intelligence methods. Think about how AI can be used by marketers to generate customer personas, right? So what's an AI, or sorry, we're not the AIs, we're the SEO. So what's an SEO going to do? We need to embrace the semantics. SEOs have always been translators. It's just now the language we're using, or the language we're translating, is in more ecosystems. And we can use semantic gap analysis to identify the relationships that may be blockers between you and your customers, or find opportunities. So on screen it's a simplified version of a reg pipeline. Don't come at me, please. Production models out in the market are going to vary, but let me tell you a quick story. So I am a curious person, and I went to AI DevCon in New York City this past November, sat with the AI devs and engineers and listened to all their speakers talking about the different ways that they're trying to make sure the systems and agents they build produce quality outputs. And what I heard over and over again boils down to context is needed for reliable, accurate answers. So consider this: when precision output matters, say in high risk or high trust environments, having a re-ranking step helps refine or confirm which embeddings are most semantically related because they're analyzed in context. Now, I do believe a lot of us here are already familiar with vector embeddings, and probably using them as well. I think we need some t-shirts made up with I Heart Embeddings on this. And I think I have been using them, and I think they're awesome. But now let's add re-ranking outcomes to the analysis. Let's say you're working with a customer persona and you want to run some query and topic analysis. You can identify where the embedding signals and your re-ranking signals agree or disagree. This is giving you directional clues you need to make strategic decisions. For example, when you get a high embedding score combined with a high re-ranking outcome, this is great, right? This is a strong semantic alignment. Green light, all systems go, thumbs up. Now, when you have a high cosine similarity, but it's mixed, it's paired up with a re-ranker outcome that is signaling less than confidence in this. All right. So, okay, we've got a possible match, but maybe something about this needs to be reinforced. And we'll talk about that here we'll brush on it in a few minutes. Where things can get really interesting is when you have low cosine embedding scores. And if you were just looking at the static embedding space, you might have stopped here, kicked it to the curb, and forgotten about it. But when you analyze it with a re-ranker relevance score here in context to what you need or what the query is, the re-ranker outcome here could be signaling, hey, there's something within this that you need to come back and take a look at. I mean, that's not really what it's saying to us. That's what I'm inferring here through this. I'm speaking for the machine layer here. It's an opportunity to explore. So semantic gap analysis signals here, where there's convergence and divergence, it is telling us where reinforcement or clarification is needed. Now let's take this in another way. Let's apply this to customer journeys across your website. You can take all your topics for a particular journey. On screen here is like a customer wanting to navigate bills and budgets. And so take all the different topics you might have already on your website or ones you're considering for helping this customer through. Put them into the analysis here with cosine and re-ranker outcomes. And what you're going to get is, as you analyze these together as a cluster, you're evaluating semantic progression. That's the difference here. It's not just proximity, we're looking at progression. And also order matters. So what this can draw forward for you is signaling perhaps you have places in your customer flow where something might not make sense to the machine layer, even though it makes sense to us. And this is where this divergence occurs, signals where you may need to make assessments to how you're handling this. Because if I were to click all the way back to the screen, we have AI layers like everywhere now, and we have to account for them. Now, similar numbers on this particular example here can represent different strategic implications. And I draw this out in our full talk, which is what the SEO Week main stage unlocks. I walk through more of these examples of identifying hidden semantic misalignments or opportunities by using embedding and re-ranking signals. And then examples of how to build connective and contrastive language to reinforce semantic relationships and how to test it, along with tips to elevate your SEO conversations across channels. Because, the examples that will be shared for connective and contrastive language can be used not just on your website content strategy, but in social media, in video, wherever AI might consume it. We need to get it out there. So ultimately, what I leave you to ponder is, how you need to determine how confident are you that the machine layer will agree with what you think your customer needs, and how confident is your business about that? I'm Mary Brown. I think this talk belongs at SEO Week. Thank you.
Wow.